I got everything all set up. Here's the keys. Here's the Terminator X screen. Hey, Owen, if you want to come here and hold this. Hey, up here by the key. So this is the first key on of the car. All right, well, nothing's happening. All right, I guess we got some figuring to do. So we hooked up a switched wire to the Terminator. Got wires all over the place now. Try number 2. Here's the key. Nothing. Take number 4, I think. All right, hold it over here, Owen.
Still looks like nothing.
Take number 347. So I figured out this connection for the switched was not a good connection before. So let's give this another try. I got everything all hooked up, it looks like. That one's hooked up. All my really crappy wire jobs are kind of hooked up. So let's give this a shot. Just as I turned the key, this thing popped on and my battery beep, 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 and died. But we have power.
Please run the wizard or load a calibration. Click OK.
Yep, click OK. Just press it once.
I did. It's not really responding.
Huh. No calibration detected. Alright, so I'm going to put the camera down and try to run through this. To continue, please run the wizard or load a calibration. So we might, here we want to run the throttle position sensor, so. It's connected. Right now it's telling me I don't have enough voltage at the throttle. So I'm checking everything over. Got a bunch of lights on here. Got some stuff flashing on this one. So I don't know what that really means, but I'm gonna try this one more time. I disconnected the throttle at the front of the engine. You know what I think the issue is I got a bad throttle there. So brand new out of the box, everything's hooked up like I think it should be, and there's no signal from the throttle. So I thought I'd show this real quick. So it's another day later again. So I thought you had to do the TPS auto set first, so with the throttle, and then it was giving me the signal from the handheld here that there's no TPS signal. Well, I tried this tonight and there's like the black's the ground, these red wires I think they're red anyway, so it's one split into two. I think that's a 5-volt supply. The one right next to it there is like 0.5 to 2 volts, and then the blue one here is like 0.8 volts to 4 volts, and you could see it change as you pushed on the throttle. So I'm just wondering. And then I did look through here through the instruction manual a little bit, because the first thing it says on that when you pop that screen on is that you need to do the TPS auto set. Well, in here it talks about initial power up and going through the home screen and going through all these steps with the setup wizard, and then it says After completing the calibration wizard, the next step is to perform a TPS auto set. So I'm wondering if I was doing that wrong, and that's why I wasn't getting any sort of signal there. So Owen and I are gonna go through, I don't know if I'll record it or not, but we're gonna go through this auto set and, well, not the auto set, through the setup wizard and get this all ready to go. And then we'll do the TPS, and then we'll see if this thing fires. All right, let's run through this one. So it says you have to go through to then I almost dropped this. So no calibration loaded in the ECU. To continue, please run the wizard or load a calibration. Getting ready for first fire here. All right. Ready? Mm-hmm. That's weird. What? What's it supposed to be at for fuel pressure when it's cranking? Like 60.
Okay, because it's below 20.
Is it?
Yeah, when you crank it, it's below 20.
Alright, go for it.
Ten PSI.
Huh?
10.
10?
It's not getting fuel.
Yeah, the computer's shutting off when it cranks. Yes?
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to drop the gas tank.
What's it leaking out of? More?
Probably a fuel fitting up on top. Alright, so I got a few things to do. Alright, so last update for the night. For some reason it seems like when I'm cranking, all the lights go off on the ECU. And we got a bit of a fuel leak back here. So I'll have to figure that out too. Dang it. Oh well, getting closer. All right, so I'm back out here the next night. So I did, again, not showing all the work that I do. Undid the two straps that hold the tank up. Used a floor jack and just set the tank down. So what I did find, I was afraid I had the pressure side, the feed side, not tightened all the way down, but it seemed like it was pretty snug. And the return side, this fitting here was loose enough I could wiggle it by hand, and you could tell it was a little bit damp. And so I tightened this up and then just checked all the other fittings. So this into the elbow for each of the supply and the return, and then these up here past the elbow that run up to the fuel line, and everything's good and snug now. I think I did hook up the battery and cycle the fuel pump a few times and just check things over, and everything looks pretty good right now. That one seems, that one still seems a little dampish. That one never seems to get completely dry. Well, we'll watch it the next time we fire it up. But I did cycle the fuel pressure a few times, and I set it so that the fuel's at 60 psi, like when the pump's on and running. So I think that's what I need to do. But so I'll work on getting this tank set back up, and then I'm gonna kill the power to the starter, I think, and just try cycling the key to the start position and see what happens with this ECU, and make sure this ECU stays on. All right, so I figured out what my issue is. I noticed that the ECU was shutting off when the engine was cranking. So I was using this wire here that went to, I think, like a neutral safety switch or something underneath the car. So, or for the old T5. So here's key on. You can see there's voltage at the voltmeter there. Press the clutch in. Turn to start position. Goes to 0 volts. Back to run, back to battery voltage. So I gotta figure out what wire I can hook up to that stays hot the whole time when the engine's cranking and everything. So back to the drawing board. All right, we're good now. So I ended up pulling a pin out of the engine harness up here, and again, proof of concept, not staying this way. Just speed nutted the signal wire for turning the ECU relay on, basically. And just to test it out without pushing the clutch in, key on, fuel pump's going. Start position, still has juice. This thing should go. How's the oil pressure? Oil pressure was good, like 80 psi.
Okay, stayed at 60 psi fuel the whole time.
60? Awesome!
A little bit oily.
Well, guys, super stoked. So excited and happy to say that this thing fired up. I've been waiting so long for this. Like I said, I've probably had this engine sitting on an engine stand since 2018 or 2019. Oh, I wanted to comment in the video when it fires up and you see a bunch of smoke come out of it. I did, just because the engine sat around for a while, I did drop a little oil when I put new plugs in it. I dropped a little bit of oil in each of the cylinders, and before I put spark plugs back in it, I spun the engine over, hoping that it would kind of lubricate the rings a little bit. But when I had the cam covers off, the cams seemed like they had a little bit of a film on them, so I kind of felt a little bit better that the engine was probably pretty healthy. But like I said, I did put some oil down each of the cylinders, so I think that's why it puffed so much blue smoke out right away. So hopefully I can fire it up once or twice more and just let it run for a minute or whatever, and hopefully it'll get rid of that. But just so excited. I've been waiting for this for so long, but now it's all systems go. I want to redo all my wiring. I'm still waiting for a freaking battery box to get here, but I feel so good that I have all this together. I have it running. Now it's time to start cleaning things up, getting this car together. I'll probably do a whole video, I think, on what my next steps are and kind of walk through that, but just so happy to see this thing run.